few boos from the away end as Hibs blow a 2-goal lead. Falkirk's wait for a home win in the Scottish Premiership goes on, but those home fans are energised and encouraged. Off the canvas to find the net twice, and there is reason to believe that this Falkirk side, many of whom were part of the progression from League One to the Championship and again to the Prem, are still part of the squad, including, I believe, your man of the match, Michael Stewart.
Yeah, well, obviously it was a huge equalising goal from Liam Henderson. I thought his all-round play was pretty good tonight as well. Massive point for Falkirk after being 2 down, and yeah, Liam Henderson, he's my man of the match, Andy.
A cracking equalising header from the centre half. Falkirk last won a home match in the top flight in April 2010. That wait goes on. Up next for them, Hearts away. Up next for Hibs, Celtic away. Both tough matches, but it'll definitely be Falkirk who are more content with the point this evening. From 2-0 down, they have disappointed Hibs, and those players in away colours are hearing the thoughts of the visiting fans right now. The home fans are full of acclaim for John McGlynn and the players. Falkirk from 2-0 down take a point and finishes Falkirk 2, Hibs 2.
Thanks, Andy and Michael. And yeah, Falkirk coming from 2 goals down to rescue a point in this game. Alan and Charlie watching it alongside me. Alan, was that overall a fair result? Falkirk were excellent in that second half.
They were. I thought Hibs in the first half were decent, deserved to go 2-0 up. I think the moment that Falkirk get back into it just before half-time changes everything. John McGlynn's half-time team talk, the whole momentum of the game, they come out, they're on it, they're up, they're being aggressive, and they come out on top in the second half. They get another goal, and then you're actually thinking that they could maybe go on and get the winner that they needed. So I think the problems there are for David Gray to sort out. He spoke about the timing of the goals that they concede, far too many, losing control of the game. They start chasing it. It's happening too much for them, so they're going to have to get that out of their system, because that's what 4 draws in a row. But fair play to Falkirk and everything that they've done there in the second half.
Yeah, Charlie, I mean, Hibs looked in that first half, didn't they? It was a matter of time before they added to their 2-0 scoreline, but it went the other way.
They could have easily been 3 or 4 up at half-time. They had some great chances, 4 or 5 right good chances. And then the timing of the goal they concede just before half-time, really, it's bad defending. They've got to deal with that. It's been the story of their season so far. They concede far too many goals. When you concede 2 and 3 goals, like they conceded 3 against Dundee United, they've conceded 2 here tonight, you can't expect to pick up 3 points, and I think that's something that will really disappoint David Gray.
Yes, I'm sure David Gray very disappointed having thrown away a 2-goal lead here at the Falkirk Stadium. They are still playing at Tannadice, and the scoreline is Dundee United 2, Aberdeen 0. So the problems continue for Jimmy Tilleen and his visitors there to Tannadice. The search for a goal and a win this season goes on. Well, as you can see, Premier Sports will be with Aberdeen on Saturday. They will be at Fir Park to take on Motherwell. You can follow that from 5:15 on Premier Sports 2. Saturday the 4th, the first Edinburgh derby of the Premiership season. Hearts against Hibernian. That one also from 5:15. And don't forget, you can tune into the Scottish Football Social Club. That is from 6 p.m. on Monday. You can tune in on X or on YouTube. Well, what a game we were treated to here at the Falkirk Stadium. Liam Henderson, what a player he has been for Falkirk. He got the equaliser and he also got player of the match. We'll be catching up with him after this. Falkirk Stadium, where Falkirk have come from 2 goals down to draw 2-2 with Hibernian. Let's hear from both goal scorers, Ross McKeever, and player of the match, Liam Henderson, with Stephen Craigan.
Ross, first of all, what a great spectacle for Scottish football. What was it like for you to play in that game?
Yeah, it was a good game, I thought. We start the game that well, they get the 2 goals, but obviously the character from the boys was brilliant to come back, get that goal just before half time, kind of lift us a little bit, and then Hendo with a great header, and then I thought we were going on to win it, but just petered out towards the end. But it was a good performance all round.
How crucial was that goal just before half time to just change the dynamic of the game?
Yeah, I think when we're going going 2-1. I don't think if we went on 2-0, I don't think it was deserved. I thought we played some good football. Probably didn't get enough chances, but getting that goal just for half time gives a bit of belief for the second half.
Liam, you said ahead of the game that you were buzzing for this one. Did it live up to expectations?
Yeah, as you said, it's a good spectacle for Scottish football. High tempo, attack after attack, different class. But like Roscoe said, 2-0 down. Didn't feel that we deserved that in the first half. But like Roscoe said, great character to come back and draw the game. And we were pushing for that winner, but we'll take a point.
You talk about resilience and character and fight and spirit. It was there in abundance for you guys tonight. Do you think that's been built up over the last couple of years? Because a lot of this squad has been together for quite a while.
Yeah, use that word abundance. That's the key to it. The boys in there, the gaffer, everyone, we're all tight knit. The banter we have during the week and that, you should see it. It's funny, but no, like you said, that helps us a lot in the games.
You said ahead of the game you're a big Hibs fan. Clearly, when the game starts, that goes out of your mind. But to get the equaliser against the team you support with friends and family in the stand, that must be a special moment.
Yeah, it was. I was just delighted to get the goal and get us back in the game, and I thought that kind of shifted momentum for us. And like I said, we were pushing for that winner, and we were unlucky to get it. But we defended well not to concede and take a point from the game.
Ross, does results like this give you a real lift and confidence that you can compete in this league? Because Hibs finished third last year, and you went toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah, I think that's something we play every team this year, and obviously we don't know how we get on against them, not really played against them as a team. Boy, a lot of us not played a lot of Premier League games, so every game's a real test, and I think we compete at this level every game.
Liam, a special night, as I said, your individual performance, top class. Are you happy with your form and how you're moving forward at the Premiership or in the Premiership for the first time in your career?
Yeah, I'm happy with that, but more importantly, I think about the team, not me. I just try and keep the goals out and do as well as I can every week and put my all into the games, and that's what I showed tonight. But like I said, I'm happy with the point.
Liam, you are the Premier Sports Man of the match. Ross, can you please do the honours for us?
Thank you.
What a fantastic goal and fantastic performance from Liam Henderson. He was the player of the match. You agree with that? He was outstanding, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he'd done really well. Because there's been a question mark over some of the goals that they've conceded, so I think to put in such a strong performance was obviously excellent.
And then obviously at the other end, he can come up with moments
like this. That's what it's all
about, isn't it?
Just waiting for your moment. It's a lovely cross in. They take it short. It's the outswinger. It's great movement from him. I mean, it's very difficult. Charlie will tell you, to get any sort of power when the ball's going away from goal and you have to redirect. It's a brilliant header.
It's a great header. It's the only place he can put it to get that power back across. If he glances it, I don't think got a chance of getting in. To put it back across to generate some power on it. There's John McGlynn
would have scored it as well.
I think we were all doing that at the side of the pitch. We're all heading.
It's a great finish, and he played well all night. He led a couple in the first half. He was up against Bowie. You could see he was up for that tonight.
Yeah, so that was 2-2, and it did, for moments in that second period, it did look like Falkirk might go on to get the winner. It didn't prove to be the case. The first half, though, was a very different story because Hibs, well, they themselves were absolutely excellent, created several chances, weren't able to convert them, and then they were awarded a penalty for this incident. What did you make of this? Because, again, the law and the interpretations of the law right now, we're seeing so many outcomes, but again, do you feel it had to be given, really?
Yeah, well, I feel for Williams, if I'm totally honest. It is a reaction when the ball's travelling at pace towards your face, but unfortunately, where the laws are at this moment in time, Nicky Cadden goes to swing the ball into the box. His arm is up and high, so I totally get why it's been given. And then Boyle steps up. It's to the left-hand side of Bain. When you see it from this angle, could he maybe do better? Listen,
it's a good height for a goalkeeper, I think is what they say. I
just don't want to be too harsh. I mean, it's got power on it, but I do feel for Falkirk to concede that penalty, but I do believe it is one.
Yeah, it's definitely a penalty when your hand's that high. It's the rules of the game is that it is a penalty, and now defenders probably need to be in the box just putting their hands behind their back. We say it's maybe not natural, but it's what they have to do to avoid any penalties being given against them.
Yeah, that's the way it is right now, isn't it? Well, Hibs went 2-0 up through Jamie McGrath, and I mean, it was a really nice bit of skill by him in the box when the ball eventually comes to him. But at this point, Hibs were very much on top in this game, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I thought Falkirk started well, and then Hibs took control of the game. But I think McGrath, what I like about him here is he follows. He's looking for the space in the box. Boyle tries to pick him back out, and Bowie does really well. He hits a fresh air shot, but he's got the awareness just to then tap it back into his path. And the turn and the finish is absolutely brilliant. Just see here, the defenders can't get any close to it, and then it puts it in the opposite
The
side.
awareness to know without looking that there's players going to be diving in and desperate at this point. He knows he just needs that yard to then finish it, and he does it well on his left foot. Keeps his head down, knows where the goal is the whole time, and finds a corner. It's a great goal.
Yeah, so Jamie McGrath giving Hibs a 2-goal lead there. But before we heard it in the interview, just before half-time, Falkirk managed to get themselves back into it. And it's not just the fact they get the goal, it's the time of the goal and everything that goes with it, because this then puts the doubt in Hibs' mind, as has been the case so many times this season already.
Yeah, it's a poor time to concede a goal. Listen, it's a good ball in the box, but Rocky Bashiri's too obsessed with his man. He's got to kill that front post space. He's got to kill it, and then he can then react. If he kills the front post space, he can then get out to the man. Just picking up a man and simply think you're doing your job, it's not. It's too. You need to be the biggest danger there is inside your left shoulder, and you must stop that ball going in there.
I know Ahora felt maybe that he'd been clipped, but it was given. And I mean, we asked Charlie to just demonstrate. No. This is not him ballroom dancing. This is him explaining to us during the break.
Is it not?
What's that pair of moulded boots I've got in there?
So just to explain to us, Charlie, that was you just giving it the old
That was me
pivot,
just telling me
wasn't
the
it?
area I should have shut off. I mean, I probably should have played with these shoes on. I looked a bit nimble there on my
To be
feet.
fair, but that's what you learn as a centre half, to cut off that space. And if he does that, he can do both jobs.
Yep.
He can look after his man, but if the ball's swung into an area, he can then cut it out. It takes a little nick off Nicky Cadden as well to get into that area. But I just think the line at times has been a problem. And this whole situation where you're conceding goals just before half-time or just after, it changes momentum in games, and I think that's a big problem.
If I'm a centre back in that position and I've got a hold of my man thinking I'm doing my job, there's something Rocky Bashiri must be thinking, oh no, if this ball goes inside me, it just takes somebody to get a yard in the box away for another runner. You need to kill that
To
space.
be fair, if I was against you there, I think I could have got away for you, to be quite honest.
I'd have blocked it with my coat.
I thought you were going to burst into a waltz at one
Like a
point.
cape had on there, I was like, Spider-Man.
Well, anyway,
Batman, you mean?
Batman even I.
Well, demos might be the way forward, but one thing is for sure, it was a goal that John McGlynn was very happy to see go in. Let's get his post-match reaction. He's with Stephen Craigan.
John, there's so many ways to describe that game and your team's performance. How do you see it?
Very, very strong mentality to be 2-0 down against a team like Hibs and come back. So, very, very strong. I thought, well, probably a little bit harsh. I've not seen the penalty back, but it's one of those ones that, I didn't believe in these ones that, he's not enough what the boy could do about it. He's not intentionally trying to do anything there. So, a little bit harsh, but we go behind and Hibs probably scored quite a good second goal. But we showed character. We come back. It's a great goal that we score. A well-worked goal. And so at half-time you go in at 2-1 and we feel we've competed, from the first minute to 45. We felt we were very much in the game. Only the penalty separating us. And let's go and have a better go in the second half. More of the same. And delighted that we managed to get the equaliser through Liam Henderson with a powerful header from a corner kick. So the mentality was really, really good. The effort was first class. I think it was a good game for everyone here. Anyone watching on television, you're getting 4 goals, a lot of entertainment, and it's a good point from when you're 2-0 down.
How crucial is the goal right before half-time, just to change the dynamic of your team talk, but also the mindset of your players?
Oh, huge, absolutely huge. Hibs have lost a lot of goals just before half-time, and we kind of knew that. And so I'm hoping that was behind it, because we did mention it to the players. They kept going right up to that 45th minute and got the rewards in a very, very good goal. So that was massive. That was massive. It's a long way to come back from 2-0 down at half-time. Not impossible, but it did give us a lot more belief, because we had 1 or 2 chances early in the game as well that maybe could have put ourselves in front.
I'd said to the players after the game, I spoke to Liam Henderson and Ross McKeever and spoke about the spirit and the pride in their performance. And I said, do you think that's coming through the fact that they've been together as a squad for the last 2 or 3 seasons? Do you think that helps in moments like that?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, our changing room is an amazing changing room. They're so spirited, they're so together, and that's shone through there tonight, absolutely. It's a big part of how we got, why we're here, that spirit in that camp. And the boys all fighting for each other in every game.
Do you think then the players should take confidence from that into the rest of the season?
Absolutely, we take confidence, believe to have went toe-to-toe with a team like Hibs, and we've a lot of positives to take from it, and we move on to Hearts at the weekend.
John, thanks very much for your time. Thank you.
How much confidence should the Falkirk players take from that second half particularly? Because I mean, this point moves them up to 8th in the table.
Yeah, I think John McGlynn said before about his team that they've been in every game, and I think that's right. I think they show great character, great willingness, even when there's a setback, to try and get back into the game. And yet again, they've proved it. So I think building on that, look, there's some big games to come, but they're sitting in a nice position, solid enough start, and it's all about the momentum. Can you build on it? Can you go and get the victories that you need to stay in this league? And they've shown great character tonight. And
this will be a learning curve. I know we talked about it pre-match, but for players coming up that perhaps haven't played at this level regularly before, week on week they will be learning valuable lessons.
And they'll be taking confidence. The fact that they can grind back for being 2 down against Hibs, a good team that a lot we spoke about them last year, and how good a squad they have. They'll take a lot for that, and the fact that they're not giving up when they're in that position. Could have been 3 or 4 the first half. They could have easily been down. John McGlynn picked them up. That goal helped them, obviously. And there's a belief there that they can pick up points, and they'll take a lot of confidence for that.
Yeah, they certainly will. So that point will feel like a very good point as far as Falkirk are concerned. What about Hibs? They had a 2-goal lead at one point in the first half, but they leave here with another draw. We'll get the thoughts of David Gray after this. Welcome back to the Falkirk Stadium. Confirmation there of the full-time results from the Scottish Premiership tonight. Falkirk 2, Hibernian 2, and at Tannadice, Dundee United 2, Aberdeen 0. What a big result that is for Jim Goodwin's side, and what another disappointing result it is for Aberdeen, who stay rooted to the bottom of the table. The win moves Dundee United, though, above Hibernian up into 3rd. Hibernian, as I say, drop into 4th place. And Falkirk, who started the day in 10th, they jump up to 8th place. Let's turn our attention to Hibernian then. We're still waiting to hear from David Gray, but another disappointing result, isn't it? This conceding of goals, which, you know, Hibs were so strong defensively last season, they really haven't been able to replicate that. What do you think is at the heart of that when a defence goes from being so solid into conceding goals, as Andy pointed out in commentary, specifically during that period of a match? Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I just don't think they're controlling games the way they did towards the end of last season. And by that, they then start chasing after it and trying to get back into the game, and the game becomes stretched, and there's areas that the opposition can go and then hurt them. I think defensively at times they look a little bit disjointed. That's given teams opportunities. And see as well, when you keep conceding goals at those sort of times, it starts to play in your mind, I think. You start to worry about it. You hear John McGlynn talking about how he spoke to his players, that's what happens. And again, it's happened again. So it's something that David Gray is going to have to try and figure out, work out, and get them back to basics and doing what they did last season.
Yeah, Alan's bang on. I mean, the more you think about it, the more you speak about it as a team. Now, I don't know if they are, but you can see it's a bit of a pattern. Then you start to worry and you start to get anxious. And as a defender, you need to be intense, but you need to be calm when the ball's coming in your box and be thinking clearly. And I don't think Rocky Bashiri was a massive player for them last year. I remember at St Mirren watching him against them. He got a clean sheet and he was colossal in the middle of that back three. This year, he doesn't look like the same player that I've saw so far. They're conceding far too many goals, and what I'm seeing is he's a part of that. So they need to sort it out quickly. I don't know what David Gray does. I don't know if it's a training ground thing, psychological thing. I would think it is more a psychological than a thing you can go and work on in training. He still looks like he's trying to get a settled back three there. He needs to pick that quickly and get clean sheets, and it only takes one or two clean sheets in a row and you start to get that confidence back.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Once that sort of seed of doubt is in there, you start almost second guessing yourself when you're out there, and then other teams pick up on that to put you under the pressure, which we saw Falkirk execute really well in the second half.
Yeah, of course, because everyone's talking about it. It's there, the evidence is there, the footage for everybody to see. We just said there, John McGlynn had spoke to his players about it, and the thing for me is, right, it's 4 draws in a row. They're still unbeaten this season. But if they want to really be challenged up the top end positions, they have to be turning them into victories. And you look at the games they've got before the international break. I mean, Celtic and then the derby.
Both away as well.
Exactly. That's hard opposition to come up against. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and try and correct these mistakes if they're going to really go and compete this season, I think.
I think Dale McKinnon's been at the game tonight. He'll be thinking, if we play against them, when we play against them, let's put balls in their box. They don't like defending crosses, corners, set pieces and balls for wide areas. They don't feel comfortable. They're getting too attached to men and obsessed with men and leaving areas that are important.
And you think about that first half as well. Although Falkirk started the game really well in those initial few minutes, Hibs actually had two brilliant chances, didn't they? Martin Boyle was through one-on-one, and then Scott Bain, with the pass out that they almost capitalised on through Kieran Bow. So they could have been even further ahead come half time.
Yeah, of course. But I think that's what they're good at this moment in time in terms of pressing high. They've got willing runners. They've got Bowie, who they can hold up the ball, and obviously Martin Boyle as well. So they could have had more, but unfortunately they didn't.
Well, let's get the thoughts of David Gray then, because he's now with Stephen Craigan.
David, thanks for joining us. What's your take on that game?
I think I'm going to sound like I'm repeating myself a little bit. I can't shy away from that at all. I thought the way the game went, I thought Falkirk started right on the front foot. And then once we adjusted to probably the speed of the game and the pitch a little bit, I thought we settled into the game well then, controlled the first half, found ourselves 2-0 up in the game. Probably should have had more when you think about the chances we then missed. Big chances again, which I've said for a few weeks now. That makes it 3 of the games different, completely different. The fact we then lose a really poor goal just before half-time is something I've said before, clearly. And then from there, after that they get a lift, they go in at half-time from a game which should have been done, that is now 2-1, everything to play for. They get a lift from that, the crowd get a lift off of that, and then I thought we stopped switching the ball in the second half, we didn't have as much control, and then we lose a really poor goal from a set piece, which is something we looked at the weekend, how we conceded, just not marking your man. It's just, he's took responsibility for it, and unfortunately it's something that's cost us a game.
You talk about recurring themes effectively there, the two of them being 2-goal lead, slipping away, but also conceding goals just before half-time. Is that a concentration thing, or is it a game management thing, or is it a defensive thing? How do you see it?
I think when I look at the one tonight, we have made a point, as I said in the press this week. I didn't shy away from it, and I certainly won't be now. I don't want it to become a thing, so the players then not getting anxious looking at it, but I did feel that the players were really switched on before half-time. But then we don't do enough to stop the cross, and then I think Warren's claiming a foul in the middle, but I think he needs to be stronger. I'm not making an excuse for it, and it's right before half time, so it's so avoidable. And then the flip side to that, like I've already said, if we go and score the opportunities we had with the dominance we had in the first half, it goes 3-0, and if it goes 3-0 it's completely different. You're not as vulnerable then for one goal coming back, but then it's a massive goal just before half time. So the recurring theme side to it is something we're going to have to, it's not going to go away until that gets fixed, so it's up to me to fix that.
How do you fix it?
You have to keep working hard, sticking together, looking at the areas in which it happened, speak to the players about their mindset in the moments. It's very easy to pause it and say you should do this, you should do that. They're living it, they're feeling it. There's 1,000 things going through their head at every moment in the game, so I need to make sure that we find the solutions, and quickly.
So from the defensive errors, effectively, it does take away sometimes from your good attacking play and what you actually bring to the game going forward, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's what the talking point's all about now, because of where we found ourselves in the game, and rightly so, because everyone looks at the score now and goes, you were 2-0 up, you've dropped 2 points. And then actually, with the way the game went, if any team was going to go and win, I probably think Falkirk were the ones with ascendancy towards the end. So we'll have to take the point, we have to dust ourselves down, because it doesn't get any easier next week, we know that. But as I said before the game, I'd be much more concerned if we weren't creating. The problem is we're obviously losing at the other end, which is something I'll need to fix.
David, thanks very much for your time. Thank you.
Well, I think it's basically everything that we've just boxed off that David Gray's just spoken about there, isn't it? I mean, also at the other end, Michael suggested it in commentary, Kieran Bowie's come back from international duty, maybe with his confidence knocked slightly. Martin Boyle is perhaps not converting some of the chances that he was converting at the second half of last season. So at the other end as well, it's not just about the defenders conceding. At the other end, the strikers have also maybe got to try and take some of those excellent chances they're creating.
Yeah, Bowie had 2 headers that looked like really good chances as well in the first half. I think that centre halves now are knowing how much a threat he is, and that they know they need to be switched on to play against him. And he is looking like he's a wee knock in confidence. He gets taken off. He looks a wee bit down and disappointed. But listen, he needs to pick himself up. He's the main man for Hibs so far this season. He needs to step up and be that number 9 if he wants to be a Scotland player as well.
There's 2 games coming up though, Celtic and Hearts away. I mean, if Hibs can manage to get things right and get that balance right, things could have a very different outlook in a couple of matches' time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it just takes one decent game to turn things round. They're as difficult as it comes at this moment in time, you'd have to say. So they're going to have to be at the top they possibly can be, and that's defensively and in front of goal. I think, yeah, Kieran Brow's probably a little bit off it from what I've seen. I think he's a special talent. And Boyle as well, you think of last season, some of the goals that he scored. And David Gray's spot on when I'm listening to him there. He said literally everything that we spoke about, that he knows what's going wrong, he knows what he has to fix. And if they take the opportunities, then they're probably 3-4 up and they're out of sight.
Yeah, if and when. It wasn't happening today for Hibs. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. A point for Falkirk. They came from 2-0 down. Thank you very much for watching.